What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So if you guys have seen the last video, we were getting ready to prep the body of the FlipRX CRX, and I mentioned that I was going to take care of all of that off camera because it was a lot of sanding to do. So we got the car all sanded down and we got it final sanded with 400 grit. So I did like 4 stages. I did 100, 150, 2 or 3, or was it 320 then 400? I don't know, I don't remember, but I did 4-step sanding and I repaired a few spots that had visible dents. We had one that was here that I knocked out, glazed over it, sanded flat, high built, sanded it down. We had one that was right here that was noticeable, and then there's small little dings and dents I'm not worried about, like these little 3 right there. There's one down here somewhere, I don't remember where, but we didn't really do much body work other than the said areas. This car is painted 3 different times. It was originally red, got painted yellow, got painted gray, and I hope they did body work in between. I'm sure they did body work in between, so most of the body was already straight. So off camera I did all of that, and I also actually painted the front and rear bumper after I picked my paint a couple days ago, and I want to show you guys this real quick because it looks freaking awesome. So here's the front bumper, right? And look at the gloss, very minimal orange peel. Got the SEM product trim black on all of the trim that are supposed to stay black. It looks freaking amazing. I can't wait for the whole car to be painted this color and have that fresher gloss. If you guys don't remember, the reason why I'm painting this car is because I tried polishing out the paint and I actually burned through the door, the light paint single stage that was on it. You can obviously see all of the yellow that popped out from like minor sanding. Is because the layer on the doors, or at least from the fenders back, they were really thin, so the buffer burned through it, and I said F it, I'm gonna paint the car. So I ended up keeping it the same, or same shade of gray. In this case we're using high-tech charcoal mist metallic single stage paint from my local paint shop. And let me show you guys right here the bumper, the color in the sun. This is the rear bumper, guys, and it looks freaking amazing. The clarity, very nice. Now I was kind of skeptical because I got the paint shop, I was like, it should have a decent gloss. So I was like, oh man, I gotta do a good job for this to have a decent gloss. But it actually exceeds my expectations. And look at the bumper, guys, it looks freaking amazing. What I also did was I painted underneath the hood just to get that out of the way. I spent all day prepping it and finally got it all laid down with about 3 coats of the single stage, and it looks amazing. I taped this all up right here, but I'm gonna leave the tape on it just so, you know what I mean, it's a dual cam sign under there, you know, dual cam, you know what I'm saying. Today's goal is to paint the hood, the roof, and the trunk. Get the top section knocked out of the way, so that way when I go and paint the sides, I'm not like leaning over to do the roof if I didn't do the roof first, you know what I mean, because I could scratch it up or whatever the case may be. So I'd rather do the roof, the hood, and the trunk first, tape that out of the way, do this side one day, the next day I'll do the other side. So right now it's nice and hot out. Hopefully it doesn't really react with the paint. I have the medium speed activator, and I'm just gonna get right to it, guys. We're not gonna be explaining how to shoot single stage. I think I've done that plenty of times before, and there are a ton of videos online on how to paint single stage, especially Paint Society or Learn Auto Body and Paint Tony. I'll follow those channels for a minute, and I got a just idea of how to do it. And with the way I've done it with the bumpers, I think my technique kind of works. What I'm going to do right now is I am going to be scuffing this up a little bit, these little trims, because I'm not going to be removing it. I'm going to tape the sides off, paint this black on both sides. I'm also probably going to do the chrome trim right here in the back. I'm going to scuff it all up, tape the window, tape the trunk, paint that black, let it bake in the sun. Once these are black, we'll tape it all off. We'll prep the roof, the trunk, and the hood for paint. It is hot as hell today. Sem product 39143 trim black. This is the product that I used to paint all of the trim, that same shade, semi-gloss black, how it came from factory, and it looks pretty sharp. Do you agree? So I got both of the roof and pillar taped off for the top trim right here. I had scuffed this up before when I sanded the car, and I scuffed it up again. Got the back over here taped off as well. And I have this little cardboard, again, Felpro gasket cardboard, and I cut a little slit into it. Obviously you guys can see I taped it up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that right there and just kind of spray within you know, this general area of the cardboard to make sure we don't have overspray that way or this way. But if we have overspray, we can remove it, not a big deal. So I'm going to give this probably like 2 coats on all corners. And I kind of made this little tarp thing right here because it was freaking burning my arm. I did get sunburn when I was working with Leo's car. All right guys, so we got the car taped up mostly. I'm not worried about the bottom section and all that. It's still going to get prepped once I get those ready for paint, but we got the back end all taped up. We got the glass, the whole side, the other side, the front windshield, under the hood in the engine bay so we don't get overspray on the black. And we have the hood propped up a little bit right here so that way we can get all the edges nice. And yeah, we are just about ready to paint. So I'm just gonna go ahead and whip out all my material and give this thing a wipe down, and we're just gonna go at it. So check this out. Every time I decide I'm about to paint, or even if I decide that I'm gonna paint today but the entire day I'm prepping, it's not windy. But when I get ready to start painting, the wind picks up. So I'm gonna run you guys through my material that I'm using today to paint the car. Now obviously this thing has been single stage twice now, and I figured it makes sense to just do another single stage paint job. This, hopefully, crossing fingers, comes out just as great as the bumper, and the car is going to look a ton better than what it did before. Most cities have their own paint shop, and like your local supply shop that you can go in and just buy paint stuff, whether you're an auto body shop or just a regular person like me who does them out of the garage, or your typical Joe, a place that allows typical Joes to just go in and grab paint. So this is High Tech. The brand is called High Tech single stage, and I am using charcoal mist metallic. This has metallic in it, and metallic is a little tricky to paint. You know, you got to be very consistent in your paint pressure, all that stuff, because if you spray too close, too fast, too slow, whatever it is, the metallic is going to come out uneven. Now on one part of the bumper I had a little run that you can clearly see the metallic like globbed up on it, but aside from the bumper, the rest of the work is really nice and it looks awesome. So I am using High Tech charcoal mist metallic with 1070 premium low VOC reducer, VOC reducer, and 1020 2.8 urethane paint catalyst. So this calls for a 4-1-1 mixture right here. ratio 4:1:1. So you go 4-part paint, 1 part catalyst, 1 part reducer. Some different paint brands don't really need reducer, but I'm just gonna go with what it says because my result came out looking awesome, so I'm gonna stick to it. And again, get this from your local paint shop. This right here was about 180. Summit Racing with their catalyst with the 1 gallon, it's like $100. So it just depends on what brand you go with, where you get it from. I got it from my local supply shop because I don't have to wait for shipping. And obviously we got a mixing cup, mixing stick, we got wax and grease remover from Duplicolor. You can get this at your O'Reilly shop. You got your mask, your air compressor, and you already guessed it, I'm using a Harbor Freight paint gun. So I finally bought a brand spanking new one, and I cleaned this out really thoroughly. My mistake with all the other guns, I don't really take them apart and clean them. You know, I use them once or twice. You know, it's just running cleaner through the gun, spray it out, put it away, and then use it again later. But I actually clogged those guns up, threw them away, and bought a new one. So this right here has its little filter right here. I don't have a water separator, and I haven't really cleared out my tank yet, but I'm hoping, crossing fingers once again, the paint's gonna come out looking like the bumper. Hopefully water don't get through, but eventually I am going to get a water separator. I'm using a digital gauge right here, and this thing is pretty accurate. So this will monitor the pressure that I'm going to be spraying in. And this actually came in a kit that was sent over to me years ago. I believe his name is Danny. Danny, what happened to you, bud? I haven't seen you or heard from you for a cool minute, but I only used this once, and I put it away knowing my bad habits of not cleaning my guns. I haven't touched this gun in a very long time, and it is set up for a PPS system right here on the top, so I don't have any of that stuff anymore. The Harbor Freight gun has not done me bad, so I'm sticking to it. So this is pretty much my setup, guys. Nothing fancy. This is all the stuff you can get locally. And again, if you guys want to like get into painting, Harbor Freight stuff works great. So you can go ahead and just grab some material from there. And you know, if you don't have a paint shop around you, I'm sure the parts store like O'Reilly's or AutoZone stuff sells like paint in a quart that you can just get and practice. Or if you're like me, back in the days, couldn't afford all that, so I bought Rust-Oleum, thinned that out, and sprayed with Rust-Oleum, which helped me learn how to spray with an HVLP gun. And here we are now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mix this 4:1:1, guys, and clean the surface. The wind's picking up once again, and let's get to work.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the darling, I'm just
took off the tarp just in case the wind blew this thing up and down. I didn't want it to get kicked up on the roof. So in the video that Tony did learning auto body and paint, he said don't be afraid to go a little heavy on the first coat, and that's kind of what I did. But I held my distance and made sure I didn't like glob up paint in one spot where the metallic is going to end up being darker. So this is the first coat, medium, I guess you can call it a medium coat, and medium wet coat. And most of the write-ups that I've seen, they were like, you should be good with 2 medium coats and this should be durable enough. So I did the first medium coat. It's been drying for about 10 minutes now. It's already tacked up, which is awesome because it's in direct sunlight. And I'm obviously going to give it another coat because you can see some areas the yellow is still bleeding through. So I want to make sure I cover all of that. And I did try to pick out a damn bug right there. Not a big deal, but regardless, this thing is looking amazing. Look at the damn reflection. That is awesome. Very minimal peel. So I'm gonna go ahead and just knock out this last layer, finish up the cup. We have a little under half cup left, and once we lay that down, I think that's pretty much going to be end of this paint job for the hood, the roof, and the trunk. It's been about 20 minutes. I am super stoked. Now, I thought I had some tiger stripes, and once the paint settled, you don't really see the tiger stripes anymore, or there is no tiger stripes anymore. So I went and I had to fill up my gun again after doing the roof and the trunk to make sure I had enough to cover the entire hood. So each body panel here has 2 medium coats of single stage charcoal mist metallic, and 20 minutes, it's already dry on the top to touch. Now normally when it gets to this stage, I would start peeling off the tape and stuff to ensure that the paint doesn't dry to the tape, and then when you peel the tape off, it's going to take the paint off with it. In this case, there's no crazy hard lines that I'm worried about. I just wanted to keep the tape and masking on here just in case a cat want to jump onto the roof. Now when the cat comes up and they smell the paint and stuff, they're not going to want to try to jump on here. But if I took all of this off, they snoop around here, and you know, they don't smell nothing crazy, and then boop, boop, they jumped up, boop, boop, dirt foots everywhere, and then I'm gonna be really pissed. So anyways, we are done for today's video, guys. The goal was to get the hood, the roof, and the trunk painted, and we did just that. I am super pumped to get the sides painted up so that way we can get the entire car put back together and really get this thing to the alignment shop, because there's only a few things left that I mentioned in the last video. We got the car back on the ground. Obviously the brakes work, but they need to be bled more. And yes, I went to Harbor Freight, grabbed me one of those vacuum pumps, and I'm going to try it out to hopefully get the brakes to work. Then it goes to the alignment shop, then it goes to the dyno, then the car will be up for sale for one of you guys to come and pick this car up. The result looks amazing, and if you guys think so as well, be sure to leave a thumbs up in this video. And if you guys want to stick around to see the side of the car painted, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.